Dune Part 3 just dropped the brand new full trailer. But Peter, is it going to be the messiah of the franchise it's hoping to be?
Oh, that's a nice touch. But before we get into that, as always, if you want to become a day one real one, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button.
We are your distorted theorists, and let's get into our Dune Part 3 trailer reaction review and breakdown right now.
Well, she looks different.
You.
Ooh. Domestic violence.
You promised me that you would never take power in your name.
I wonder.
You convinced me that this was your home.
Well,
that I was your home.
I'm wondering if she's even alive there. Wondering if that's a vision.
What do you know about me?
Because there's something about this blue thing. It's a morning thing.
You have conquered the galaxy. You've destroyed thousands of worlds.
Oh,
What are your thoughts?
give me X-Men Wolverine voice.
I think you're way beyond redemption.
Yeah, there's something here. Something is.
Why are you here?
It's like he's guilty, or like he's got guilt or something.
But yeah, like I don't think this
Peace
takes
is a
place
good thing.
right after
Why
2.
should I refuse?
I still think it's crazy to start how we got these movies too.
It's because people want to work with
Because it's meant to destroy you.
Villeneuve.
We plan to strike at the core of Imperial power.
You intend to kill Paul?
Regime change.
Idiot.
And that's
You've
Robert
just signed our
Pattinson,
death
right?
warrants.
So good.
I found someone.
See, it's almost like Paul is the bad guy.
What's in the coffin?
The future has a way.
I think it's
Talking to
her.
me. I can't see what's ahead.
How does it feel to be human like everyone else, Paul Atreides?
The scale of these movies.
You have no
bigger,
fear,
like,
do you?
I fear dishonor.
You sound like an Atreides.
I've been told I was one.
Ooh, that looks good.
Yeah, this is. It's just. Oh! I think she stops
Forgive
it.
me for all I've done.
She can do that?
Well,
Part 3. Look at that cast, bro.
this is, again, they're saying it's the conclusion, and I was joking with you before. Saying,
says the final chapter
This
or
is
whatever.
If this is Dune Part 3, this implies that there's a Dune Part 4.
Right.
But they're saying it's the conclusion. From what I understand, this is the conclusion of the, I don't know if it's Denis or Dennis, but the Villeneuve movies, which obviously this is big enough that they've already spawned the TV show Dune Prophecy, which
Right.
I haven't watched,
Right.
or if there's going to be anything else. There's a video game. But I cannot say that I am an expert in Dune. I'm not. It's a weird story.
Well, you made it sound like you were the expert because you heavily touted this when the first one came out, saying, Justin, you got to go watch this. Justin, you gotta... Then the second one came out and you were like, Justin, you got to go watch this.
It's because it's a spectacle. It's one of those
Yeah.
movies that, as far as like, I can't
The
really
grandeur of it.
Yeah, I can't really remember a ton of the story. Like I get there's the bits, you know. There's the it's for spice. It's in the year 40,000 or whatever. Oh, that's 10,000. That's a different franchise completely. And I get like the whole overthrown empire and becoming the person who you were meant to be and giving up on who you were to become this new person. So, it's a Lion King aspect. It's the same story. It's the fight between good and evil. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, yeah.
But the thing about these movies, it's just they're made for IMAX. It's very similar to a Christopher Nolan epic. And what you're seeing is like every inch of the screen, like you're like, Oh my God.
Well,
like it's a scale.
Well, I think we should acknowledge as well, speaking of that, this movie is theoretically stealing IMAX from what some would say would be a bigger film, which is Avengers Doomsday, correct?
Well, it's not stealing. There's something.
Well, you know what I mean. They got it on lockdown.
They've got the exclusivity deal for a couple of weeks, which is going to be at the same time as Doomsday. Yeah. But
calling it Doomsday for those.
There's something else going on behind the scenes. I don't know if anyone else has seen what they've posted in some of the marketing for Doomsday. Is that it's going to be in this special AVX whatever
something vision.
Yeah, it's basically made that like
Infinivision
Infinity-scape. We can use whatever cameras and that you're showing on a regular screen to make it look as if it was IMAX, which is wild to me. But anyways, we digress.
Well, what does this film do you think need to captivate the box office going up
it doesn't need to. It's the people that want to see Dune are going to go see Dune. I don't think if people are like, should I go see Dune or should I see Doomsday?
6, 7.
If you want to see one, you're going to go see that. If you're going to see the other, you're going to go see the other. If you want to see both, you're going to see both. In terms of spectacle, what we're seeing is it's going to be huge again. From what I can understand from the trailer, this takes place over a long time. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that Robert Pattinson is playing one of Paul's children, who I think that's the way the story goes.
Well, I found myself watching this trailer. I felt like, okay, well, obviously Timothy Chalamet. I can't say Tim, our good friend Tim. Obviously, it's very easy to pinpoint or seemingly pinpoint the storyline there because he has long hair, then it gets shaved off, obviously. So you can I'm sure if we rewatch this trailer, which I'm sure we will, you could piece together somewhat of a semblance of a story. But like you said, is the story all going to be about him, or is it going to be more about the working parts going on around him?
I think it's going to be the sum of its parts, really and truly. We're going to be following a couple of different storylines, and it does seem, at least, again, for someone who's the uninitiated, I know people have read I think there's like 6 books or something like that, and I think this actually takes up to the end of the second book.
And we urge you in the comments to
please,
educate us all you want.
100%, because, but I think there's some creative liberties that are being taken with this as opposed to what the books are. Anyways, it does seem that Paul's character is almost being portrayed as the villain, as if he becomes the emperor, which I'm pretty sure he does at the end of 2, and then it's like, oh, you're going to help us, and he's like, I'm just going to head out. And then he kind of does his thing, which is where we see Zendaya's character kind of like, you promise whatever, but go on from there. So there's that aspect of it, and then it seems like they're talking about there's going to be a revolution against Paul, whether it's someone that's usurping him that wants to go back to the way the things were, or if he's become just the bad guy and now it's this new, basically what Paul was, everyone is now becoming to overthrow him.
Yeah.
I don't know. There is something to do with it because in the first movie, spoilers, Jason Momoa's character bites it. He's dead.
I thought so because I was seeing him, I was like, I don't think he's supposed to be here right now.
No, and we're seeing him as some kind of insane warrior that he's fighting Paul, which they kind of did in the first film as well as a training exercise, but now it seems like it's a little more real. So there is something I know in the stories that I've seen online to do with there's like I know this is not at the Well of Ascension, that's a different, that's from a different series, but it's something like that people can be resurrected as a part of the whole.
Well, I'm curious too as to what your opinion is. Where does Zendaya fit into this story? Because as you said, does she make it out of here? We don't know.
I don't think she does.
But obviously a crucial part to the story. So how do you think they're going to juggle her on-screen time?
I think there's going to be scenes, if I'm right, which I very well may not be, and I could be blowing smoke. I think that she bites it in some way, shape, or form. I don't think at the end of the film that she is alive. I think some of the scenes that we're seeing where she's like in that kind of robe.
Right.
I don't think that is
almost ceremonial or something.
Yeah, I don't think I think she might already have passed at this point, and this is a vision that he is having of her, and he's wrestling with whatever's going on.
Yeah, like is this going to be a catalyst for motive from certain characters?
But then we're seeing her near the end of this trailer where she's, I'm assuming, stopping the big sandworm, which I'm sure isn't going to be happening until later in the movie. So if she isn't dead, is she been resurrected like Jason Momoa's character, or is this part? I don't know.
And I think full disclosure as well, and I think I can speak for you, we haven't read the books. So
I
we are
tried to
taking
read-
these for film value. You know what I mean? So
I tried to read Dune years ago because my dad has the first 3 books, and I was like, "Oh, these are cool." And I think I got like 5 pages in, and I went, "Nope." I was like, it was like 40 spice. I was like, "What?" And I just couldn't. I couldn't follow it because I was. It was a long time ago. Maybe I should give it a shot again. But I know that there's apparently a lot of differences between the films and the movies, so then I'm not going to get the same appreciation. As
and like you said, I do feel like these movies have gotten just bigger and bigger and bigger. Obviously, the first one, I think they knew what they had because of the cult following of the books. But I think the movies have also came into their own where they are drawing these audiences, and the movies are getting bigger. They're taking over the IMAX screens because that's what we need to see these in.
My wife is obsessed with Dune. Like, she was like, "We're gonna go see Dune, right?" I was like, "Well, it's the same day." Well, actually, it might have changed now, but like, it's the same day as Doomsday. Like, we got. She's like, "Well, we're going to see Dune." I'm like, I don't know.
You can do Friday, Saturday.
Well,
Thursday is
maybe
for the
we'll
boys.
do both. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it's one of these things that is like, it's sucked her in.
Yeah.
And she's not a sci-fi person. Like, I'll put Lord of the Rings on, she'll be like, "Ugh, this
Yeah.
again." Or I'll put on John Wick or something, like, "Ugh." It's not her jam. But Dune, which is kind of, I'm not saying it's hard to get into, but it's a different type of film.
Yeah.
And she's just like,
And before we take this video, of course, I also want to acknowledge, because I know I've made the statement in previous installments of reaction, is the correlation to Star Wars. I've said, like, this seems like a Star Wars, that took pieces from Star Wars. But then I was educated by the comments and yourself that this came out before Star Wars was invented. So really, this was inspiration for, well, ultimately what led to Peter Parker being the Star Wars fan that he is.
yeah, I want to say this came out in the late 60s, and obviously the story...
65, I thought I'd seen somewhere online.
Yeah, so then George Lucas didn't really start working on this. He was already working on it when he was writing American Graffiti, but it was still, Dune came first.
But it's interesting because someone who's very film surface level, I wouldn't have never known that without getting into these movies.
But it's because Star Wars is the bigger thing. So you would think it is. Don't even. Star Wars is the bigger franchise, so it would make sense for someone like, it's in a similar vein. I was always under the impression, I was like, oh man, Uncharted, this seems just like Tomb Raider with a guy.
Yeah.
But it's true because Tomb Raider came first.
Right, true. Interesting though when you know those things.
Yeah, so it's...
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us for our Dune Part 3 trailer reaction, review, and breakdown. As always, if you want to become a day one, real one, make sure you hit our subscribe button, hit our like button, and leave us a comment down below. Are you excited to see Dune Part 3, the finale, if you will? Is there anything that we spoke about in this video that you would love to shed more light on and totally educate two guys from the
'cause
distorted theorists?
We're very wrong. I know we are.
And how is this movie going to fare going up against Avengers Doomsday?
Pretty well, I think.
And with that, I am the real Jelsey.
I'm Peter Parkour, and like we always say around here, keep it real.